late evening, everyone. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Coca-Cola Houston Clinic, Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, and Kinetic Credit Union, Thrift, Barringer, Big Rich. We got a lot we're getting into here on this late Sunday night edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show in the CNAW 2 News Studios.
Yeah, we got to recap week 2. What an incredible week of high school football. It was week 1 in Alabama. We had some upsets, we've had some blowouts, we had some fantastic finishes, and we've got some records broken, and I can't wait to get into all of it.
Yeah, and we're going to have a ton that we're going to be recapping, including the 5 broadcasts we did over a 2-day stand. And then we'll also talk about all the games, other games that happen around the area. We'll drop our rankings, as we always do, and we're going to ruffle some feathers. We got some movers and some shakers when we drop them later on tonight. And then eventually we'll have our top 10 that we'll have dropped and more, a ton that we're going to be getting into. But first things first, man, what an incredible Friday night that we had. And let's talk about the 5 broadcasts, Richard. Every one of them lived up to par. Great job by Drew Plata and Reese Lenig and Nate and Dave Plata over at Pacelli as they took down Tatnall. Great job to Brandon Swobel, Rick Beach, and the crew out in County as they went up to Troop County. Also, great job by the Glenwood Valley game crew, which is Tyler Dykes and Mike Frost, Noah Shelton. Amazing job. Not great circumstances, and did a great job broadcasting it. And finally, the Carver game, Jonathan Jones, Lewis, my guy, DJ Jones, and then, of course, the producer of all producers is producer Chrissy. Like, he has just been killing it, man. I've been so proud of our team and I'm proud of what we accomplished over the last 2 days. And I did say this, but last Friday night's Carver-Spencer game, the most viewed game in the history of Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
There we go.
We are already at 70,000 views on Facebook, another 10,000 on YouTube. We're at 80,000 views for that Carver-Spencer game. Then some other games that got some great views. Glenwood, over 10,000 views on Facebook and multiple, 5,000 on YouTube. County, same thing, a lot of views on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, Pacelli had over 3,000 on YouTube. So great night for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Great night for those teams because a lot of the local teams won. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But just, Richard, from Thursday night, the record was broken, and you're seeing some highlights right now. We'll talk about these games here in just a moment. But the record was broken for Smith Station, as they had over 50,000, 60 total between both platforms. And we broke that easily the next day. This shows you what we're doing here.
Yeah, I was pulling the analytics off our YouTube channel, and we've had it up for 3 years, and we've had over 1,000 videos on YouTube, and 5 of the 6 broadcasts of all time have gone on this season.
Yeah.
So we've already shattered the records on Facebook and on YouTube.
Unbelievable, man. And thank you for saying that, Richard. And we expect those numbers to continue to climb. But an awesome, again, we're not doing this to pat ourselves on the back. I am not doing that, I promise you. I don't need that. I'm just so thankful that this platform that was created to help shine a light and give more exposure to these athletes, these coaches. They put a lot of time and effort. There is hidden gems in this community that need to be talked about, Richard. And I'm glad that now all eyes are on these programs. And listen, we're only in week 2. We're got plenty more to go, including this upcoming week.
Look, I'm going to come out and say it is all about the kids. We love shining the light on these student athletes, but getting the accolades, getting the pat on the back is nice too. And who knows, maybe possibly a Gabby in the future. But I'm just saying that we are just elevating what we have been, where we were, and where we are now. That we're just only going to continue getting better because we're adding more talent, we're adding more elements to this platform, and we also did, the halftime show, still a great success. I mean,
Richard, I'm going to give you credit. You've done a great job with that, and thank you to all the guys, including the Beck Center and Roger Beck for supporting that and helping us be able to get that up and running, being at the Beck Center.
Absolutely.
How about High School Game Day, the most views it's ever had, Richard. And I just love the format, man. You're in studio. You're going from me and DJ live from Memorial Stadium. Then you're heading over to Rick Beach in the county. Then Dave Plata and Pacelli. And then, of course, Noah Shelton on the field for Valley Glenwood. That's how you do game day. And we're going to have 5 locations this Friday night as well.
Get ready.
Can't wait for it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But great Thursday and Friday that happened around the area. A lot of great wins, but I really am proud of what we have built here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and we can continue to do it. But Carver Spencer, I knew was going to shatter records, and it did.
Absolutely.
We had on YouTube, we had close to 1,500 people watching it once continuously. For those in the streaming world, that is a tough ask. Most people don't watch a full game like that, and to have that many, and to have over close to 100,000 that we expect to have tuned into that game, that is something that I wanted, but didn't know if it was ever going to come, or didn't know how long it was going to take. And the fact that it's here, again, thankful for my guys. So let's take a break, Chris, and when we come back from break, we'll recap all 5 of those games, anything else that's happened around here locally. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show with Thrift and Rich.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith and Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Here to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thrift, Barringer, Richard Holdridge in the CNAW 2 News Studios. We want to say thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you to our presenting sponsors for what they do here for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. All right, Rich, let's talk about the games that happened. Let's go Thursday. We kind of talked about it on Friday. Blair Harris and Harris started off with a bang, 24 to nothing, as Panthers took down Shaw in what was a dominant game. Cohen Thomas was great. The 5-headed running back monster was sensational. And that offensive line was the Alice Quinney All-State Good Hands player of the game. Blair Harrison and his team 1-0, their first win in a couple of years. As for Shaw, it's regrouping time. Now, they did lose to a 4A public school in Georgia and a 7A public school in Alabama. In the grand scheme of things, everything they have is in front of them. I've said that over and over again. But Shaw's got a lot they need to improve on, and they go on the road to Athens Academy this Friday. Richard, but I want to go back again to the positive. Blair Harrison and his team getting a big win, and now they host Valley this week. That's how you start off an era, Richard. And now you got the community vibing. You got a community that's thriving and really looking for something to hang their hat on, and I think they have it.
Yeah,
the football team.
I do think that this Smith Station team, it just feels different. With Coach Blair Harrison, he has established a culture, and they're buying into his program. Remember the turmoil that Smith Station has been in. 4 coaches in the last 4 years, including one coach that only lasted a month. That is really not going to help morale when it comes to trying to get these players to buy into your program. Coach Blair Harrison comes in, and he establishes culture. He builds up a coaching staff, and they just took it to Shaw. They were able to play smash mouth football.
Right.
And I know that he's got that an old school style of just ground and pound. And I think that Smith Station is going to be in a lot of games this year because they like to run the football. Cohen Thomas doing his thing, and he even threw a touchdown pass and kind of caught Shaw off guard, but just dominating performance by the defense. And I do like my chances. I do like Smith Station's chances against Valley next week because if they can start 2-0, going into the backyard brawl, that's going to give them confidence to play a Central team that is their most hated rival that they haven't won in or even been competitive in a long time. And I know that that's what you want to see. You want to see improvement, and you want to see them staying in games. And like you mentioned the other day, that I could see the Smith Station team winning 3-4 games, improving because they didn't win a game last year.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Richard. So great start for them. Kendrick, how about those Cherokees?
How about the Cherokees?
Doubt them if you won't. Doubt them if you won't. I said 5-5, and everybody keeps coming up to me. Thrift, you said Cherokees. Kendrick's winning 5 games. They're 2-0 now, Rich.
Here we go.
Coach Mayo's team, I'm telling you, sleep on them if you want. I see 3 more wins in their future. This team's getting to 5. Mark it down. Guarantee. I cannot believe that I'm right. Actually, I can. That's what happens when you study up on stuff. I'm not going to have that big of an ego. I'm wrong on a lot of things. I promise you that. But, Richard, big win for the Cherokee. Low-scoring affair, 13-8, but they've won both games by holding their opponents to under 10 points a game. And now they got a big one next week on the road against Crawford. But starting 2-0 is exactly what the doctor ordered for Coach Mayo and his Kendrick Cherokees.
I like this run game by Kendrick. Starting with the sophomore, Lavasco Williams, who has 4 rushing touchdowns this year. Tyrese Pitt, also the running back tandem that Coach Mayo has. Ira Scott, he can catch passes in the flat. And, the quarterback, Noah Harris, doesn't really have to do much because he's got a great run game. They can run the football, and I do like Kendrick's chances on the road in Roberta, taking on a Crawford County team, which beat them last year at Kinnett Stadium. We were there for that. But Crawford County, which is in Class 1A, they're a lower classification. Kendrick is starting to believe. Getting the 2 wins to start 2-0 for the first time since 2014 is huge for East Columbus and K-Town. I'm saying that K-Town right now is just on all cylinders. They are on cloud 9. I know that they are excited, and the community's excited because we know how passionate the fan base is for Kendrick. And what a great start for the Kendrick Cherokees to go 2-0.
Columbus and Greenville got rescheduled for another date, so they were the other game on Thursday night that did not happen. Let's go to Friday, and we'll talk about the 4 games that we saw. First, at Dymo Field. That was the Pacelli Vikings as they took on the Tatnall Square Academy Trojans. And Coach Smitty Grider gets his first win in his Vikings debut, or second game, in his debut season. Bobby Gary was great. The defense made plays. Cam Carino was the All-State Good Hands player of the game. He was incredible on the ground. And Pacelli gets a much-needed victory after losing to Stratford last week in a fashion that I think they're going to be looking back on that game. That's going to be an anomaly. That's not what I think that this Pacelli team is. But they needed to get a win. Low scoring, but eventually kind of wore down Tatnall. 28-6 victory over the Trojans.
And that Nighthawk defense showed up and showed out, led by Keon Williams, Skylar Sanchez, and Jack Danley. I mean, they were just all over the field and only holding Tatnall to 6 points. But it was the offense. It was DJ Colvin, Cam Carino in the ground game. How about John Thompson? I mean, he had a great game, and Bobby Gary didn't really have to do much, but he made plays when it mattered the most. And now Pacelli, 1-1, having to go on the road next week to take on First Presbyterian Day. That is always going to be a tough matchup. Remember, they beat FPD last year. They could do it again if they could just continue building off this momentum. And I'm looking forward to that game next week.
And great game again by the Pacelli Vikings as they get a much-needed victory over Tatnall. Another game that we were able to do this past Friday night was Harris County, Thrift County. Not the performance we thought we would see from Tommy Watson and his team. No. But I think this more had to do with how good Thrift County is with Garrison Edwards.
Yes.
This team's probably winning the state championship or going to be in the mix for it. Harris County, again, good team, but not as talented as they were the previous 2 years. Thrift County is also better than they were last year, and they wanted to avenge that loss they had to Harris County. 42-0. All you can do is say, hey, they were better than us. You pick yourself up, and then they got a big one. They probably take on one of the top 5 teams, regardless of classification, to stay next week at Otis Spencer Stadium, the Carver Tigers. So they don't have very long to kind of sulk in this loss. But Tommy Watson, I expect them to come back out. This was just a game that Thrift County did whatever they wanted to offensively. Harris County, anytime they got any type of momentum, they would kind of stall out, make mistakes, just never could get in the game. And then by the time the second half got there, it was just too much for them to overcome. Thrift County wins 42-0, but Harris County, I think, still going to be fine this year.
Yeah, Harris County's 1-1. They got a tough opponent next week at Otis Spencer Stadium, taking on the Carver Tigers, a team they beat 15-6 last year. But I think this Carver team's improved. There's a lot of players that were lost to graduation that for Harris County. Still going to be one of those top teams in the region. They take on Doherty, Jonesboro. These are all winnable games. Northside, Griffin, Mundy's Mill. I think everything's in front of Harris County. I believe in what Coach Tommy Watson has built up to this point, having their best season in the last couple of years and just building a foundation. It's just, you're facing a juggernaut in Thrift County. I think that what Coach Tanner Glisson has built, he's built a championship team with Garrison Edwards at quarterback and the Thrift County Tigers that have made long drives and continue success through the playoffs, especially getting to the semifinals a couple of years. So this was a tough one for Harris County, but let's see them try to regroup and get ready for Carver next week.
8 o'clock in Rams Stadium, Valley, Alabama. The Valley Rams avenged their loss last year after being up 20-0, and coincidentally or not, coincidence or not, Valley was up 20-0 this year as well heading into halftime. Too much for the Gators to overcome. They scored a touchdown with like 8 seconds left. They made it kind of respectable. Valley had complete control in that first half. Glenwood also kind of got themselves in some trouble as well. Young quarterback play was kind of the Achilles heel of this Gators team. And the Rams got a win over Glenwood 20-14. I still think Coach Nelson's team, they're going to be at home this week. I think they're going to avenge that loss. They're still going to win 6 or 7 games this year. And I honestly thought this could be one of them they lose because Valley's a good program.
Yeah.
But the Rams take down the Gators. Gators were not able to pull out that magic like they were last year.
Yeah, I remember Glenwood was taking on a 5A school on the road. Found themselves behind the 8 ball down 20-0. I think that in that first half, when Trey Clarity went for it on 4th down and the Valley defense stopped him, I think that that was a momentum shifter for the Valley Rams. But you got to give credit to the Glenwood defense for holding Valley to scoreless in that second half, which allowed Glenwood to come back in that game. And it was a 1-score game, and Glenwood had a chance if they could get a stop. But Valley ends up getting the win, and now Glenwood has their home opener against Elba. Don't have to face Alvin Henderson. He's at Auburn now. This is a 1A school. It is a championship 1A school, but they beat Elba on the road last year. I think that this is a winnable game, and really, Glenwood is just happy to be back at the Swamp, and that's going to be just great for them in year 2 in the AHSAA to be back at home.
Lastly, Carver Spencer. Was there for that. I expected what should be a fantastic game, and it was a bloodbath. Carver was way too much to overcome. Sebastian Hurd, 3 touchdown passes as a freshman. Zach Watts is showing you why he's the best running back, and I'm saying this now, the best freshman running back in the country. Caslin and Tarver, probably the best running back duo south of Atlanta, and I don't know anyone that's got anything better. Those guys are electric, quick, fast, got great speed, can cut on a dime. The defense, led by Gibbons and Watts and Taylor, were just suffocating and fudging that Green Bay's offense. Didn't have much. They couldn't move it. Coach Kegler tried to find anything, but that offensive line had a tough time. As you saw here, they tried to get screens out, and even when they had something drawn up perfectly, a ton of drops as well, Richard. Carver, you cannot do that. You have to be mistake-free football. You got to come up with big plays, and really, you probably got to play your best game of the entire year. And that's asking a lot for a team when it's the first game of the season. Carver, though, shows me that they are the best team in this area, and I put them up against anybody. I don't care what classification, what state they're in. This Carver team's legitimate and for real, and I think they're going to continue showing that for the rest of the season. Jarvis Jones and not one drop-off and a big win over the Spencer Greenways. As for Coach Joe Kegler, I'm going to say hot take right now. They're still winning 7 or 8 games this year, and I still think they're the second-best team in the region.
I'm going to come out and say this, and I don't think this is that much of a hot take. This Carver team looks like they're better than last year's team. In their first 2 games, they have scored 99 points. It looks like they're about to break the all-time scoring record for a Carver Tiger. Last time I remember a Carver Tiger team that had an explosive offense, maybe 2015 with Puma Pass. But this team looks like they have excelled that Carver team. When you look at Carver teams in the past, they pride themselves on defense, which they still have great defensive players. But when you have an explosive offense, it takes pressure off your defense. And now I think Carver could go undefeated. And they are the clear-cut favorites, not only to win the state championship, but to completely dominate in 2A. A lot of people in the state of Georgia, people that do these polls and rankings, have got Carver number 1. They have not skipped a beat. I was a little off, I thought, with the turnover, losing their head coach, coordinators, losing key players from last year's team. I thought that they would have a little bit of growing pains, and I was completely wrong. They have completely dominated their first 2 games.
I think they have shown why they are the best team in the state, and I think they've shown why many people, including ourselves, feel like they're going to repeat for sure on that. All right, some other games that happened. Chris, throw this up there for me. The highlight from the Brookstone game. I want everyone to watch this for a second now. This is Harrison Baker, who I think, with C.J. Starr, could be the best defensive player in the area. I think Harrison Baker is the best defensive player in the state in the GIAA. He is getting recruited at a high level. I think he is going to be one of those late bloomers. By the end of the year, he's going to be getting in a ton of offers. Wow. He literally depleted this guy. Then the fumble happened. He right now had double-digit tackles, multiple sacks, forced fumbles, and the Brookstone Cougars and Ian Headley's team put up 51 points.
Yes.
In 2 weeks, they're averaging 50 points a game. This offense went from being really good last year to potentially record-breaking this year. Broughton Branch has taken the next step as one of the best quarterbacks in this area. Sammy LaBoy is one of the fastest and most electrifying athletes. We got Ian Headley's pushing all the right buttons. They went to Valdosta and took down a really good Valwood team. Unbelievable, man. And I want everybody to look at me when I say this, man. I think this Brookstone team may be hoisting the trophy up at the end of the year. And I really think between them, potentially Calvary and Pacelli, we could have 3 teams from this area in a semifinal matchup. But I think the talk of right now, Carver is expected. The talk of right now, the Brookstone Cougars and Ian Headley. 2-0 to start the season. Dominate Tatnall. To come back and be down 17-3 against Valwood. Tie the game, go up 2 touchdowns, give up the lead, and then score 2 more touchdowns to take the lead. Wow. That is stuff you cannot buy in a team. The fact they have that fortitude and that chemistry early in the year makes me think, dude, they're only going to get better. And they're really good right now. Think about what the ceiling is with this team. I cannot be higher on the Brookstone Cougars and Ian Headley.
Well, if you look at the playmakers, you got Broughton Branch, returning star at quarterback. You got Sammy LeBoy and Dylan Terry. That's a pretty good running back tandem there. But yeah, you talk about Harrison Baker. I mean, he has just made plays all over the field. I mean, same with A.J. Hayes. They play Mount Vernon next week. I think that that's going to be a game where they win. And then they've got some tough matchups. They do host First Presbyterian Day. Of course, the Pacelli game is going to be tough. But I do believe that this Brookstone Cougars team can win a GIAA championship. I got to look at the history books. I know that they were in the GHSA at one point, but I got to look and see if they've ever won a football championship.
Brookstone has not, so that
would
be
be
the first
huge.
time this
First
year.
time in school. That would be amazing for the Brookstone
And
community.
Ian doing that in his first year.
Wow.
I know there were a lot of doubters out there. He's starting to prove those doubters wrong. Big
Absolutely.
win for Brookstone. Jordan got taken down by Bremen 56-0.
Just playing a better team.
Just playing a better
Yeah.
team, and we hope that Coach McDaniel, and we expect them to get better here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, they play Chatco on
Next Thursday, winnable game.
It is a winnable game.
One of the winnable games on there, and I'm cheering and picking Jordan to win that game. I want it to happen.
And they play Terrell County as well, and they play Columbus in week 4. So there's opportunities for Jordan to try to get their first win since 2020.
Northside was on a bye. Hardaway, they
lost to Booker T. Washington. It was a close 7-2. It was just a defensive struggle. That was on Thursday night up at Lakewood Stadium.
Baseball game being
Thursday.
played.
It was a baseball game.
For Hardaway. But, hey, Hardaway, Coach Will Weldon, better performance than they saw last week
And
against
Calvary
Jackson.
was on a bye too.
Calvary was also on a bye as well, Richard. And we talked about all the other games that have happened. Russell County is the last one.
Here we go.
Bryson Riggins, and how about those Russell County
There we go.
Warriors?
He's
Wow.
picking up where he left off from last year.
5 touchdown passes and 350 yards. Coach Riggins says we're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and better than we were last year. And we broke records last year. Russell County Warriors, big win over Carroll. And I'm telling you, he said challenge accepted. I'm glad you did, Coach Griggs. That's why I'm high on your Warriors and why they're so high in our rankings. Big win over Carroll to start the season. And Bryson Riggins, he is about to have 50 touchdown passes. One more game. He's already going to have 50 in 2 years. And he still has a whole season to go. Unbelievable what we've seen from Bryson Riggins. And this guy is the #1 quarterback in this area. I don't want to hear anything else. I'm not talking about talent. I am not talking about the size, the potential, none of that. The metrics. I'm talking about right now, stats, pound for pound, going out there and producing. You name me a better quarterback that produces more than Bryson Riggins in this area.
Bryson Riggins is the best quarterback in our area. I believe he's the best quarterback in the state of Alabama. And I'm actually going to say Russell County is going to go down to Eufaula next week.
Oh!
They're going to get a win against the Super Bowl champion coach Jarrell Jernigan. I actually think this Russell County team can beat Eufaula. And then looking at the schedule, I don't think they go undefeated. I think Pike Road is good. Even though that game's at home, Pike Road is a juggernaut in 6A. They're a championship team, but they got winnable games. App Valley, Stanhope Elmore, Rehoboth, Beauregard. I think this team could be better than that team that went to the second round of the playoffs last year, but it's 6A football. Is this a championship team? We'll find out and see. There's Saraland, there's Clay Chalkville, there's Hueytown, there's Spanish Fort. There's a lot of great 6A schools, including Pike Road, which is on their schedule.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back from break, we're going to drop our rankings, as we always do here on the Georgia Alabama
Sports Life show.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show in the CNAW 2 News Studios presented by Coca-Cola. Thank you to Coke and their timeless taste. But I do like Diet Coke. I mean, this is one of the best drinks there is, too. If you like Diet, I don't recommend anything else other than Diet Coke, but I'm a Coke guy. Every restaurant, if you ain't got Coke, I'm not going to eat there. I love Coke products. Thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, the original presenting sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, the very first one, Kinetic Credit Union, and of course, Jack Houston Memorial Hospital and Houston Clinic for coming on as our presenting sponsors. Big Rich, rankings time.
It is rankings time.
All right, Chrissy, let's throw it up there. We're going to see who likes it, who agrees, who disagrees, who is not happy, who's unhappy. We're going to find out right now. So,
Got left out.
let's look at the rankings, Chris. Number 1. Let's start with the top 10. Number 10, the Kindred Cherokees. They come in 2-0, feeling really good about themselves, and I'm telling you, Coach Mayo's team, I like where their head's at in that 5 wins. I expect Kindred maybe to stay in the top 10 all season long. Number 9, making it into the top 10 for the first time in the power ranking of football. For the first time in the history of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, it is Smith Station after their dominant win over Shaw. They come in at number 9. Rich.
Yeah, they deserve to be in our rankings after that convincing win. Remember, they only won 2 games in the last 3 years. Did not win a single game all of last season. So they definitely deserve to be in the rankings, and I think that they're going to stay in the rankings if they are able to beat Valley next week. And even if it's a close game against Central, I still think they stay in our rankings because it's Central, and they're playing in the backyard brawl in 2 weeks. But I love where Smith Station's at. I love the way they're running the football and just playing physical football.
All right, now let's talk about coming in at number 8, Calvary Christian, who got a bye last week. They get a win, and they go to they had a win on week 1. They're now 1-0, and they take on at home Mount the Sales, and I think Calvary's going to win that game in dominant fashion. Mount the Sales is 0-2, so I think Calvary will be 2-0 as they head into September. A lot better than they were last year at this point.
Yeah, firing on all cylinders, 48 points against Terrell County. Braxton Wilkinson had 5 touchdown passes. And this Calvary Christian Knights team is a winnable game against Mount DeSales. Remember, they only lost to them 7-6 last year in Macon. I think that Calvary is going to be the much improved team, and Coach Emmanuel Brunson is going to have his team ready Friday night at Lynn McWilliams Field, the Calvary home opener. There's a lot of big things happening at Calvary Christian. Always an electric atmosphere. Can't wait, and we're going to be there for Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Number 7 is the Pacelli Vikings. And remember, those that are watching right now, we do our rankings, again, over the schools that we cover.
The schools we cover.
On a regular basis. We have 15 high schools that allow us a regular basis to cover them, to broadcast their games, to be a part of their programs. And those are the teams that we rank a part of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live rankings. Now, if you want to have a Chattahoochee Valley Sports rankings or Tri-City Sports rankings, if you want to have anything else that is not Georgia Alabama Sports Live, the company, then okay, I'm with you and I'll go out there and vote. But we want to include the teams and the schools that are part of what we cover and allow their athletics to be home on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So number 7 is the Pacelli Vikings. They needed that win over Tatnall. And they did, and they come in at number 7. Number 6, Spencer, 0-1. Didn't want to drop them too far because when you lose to Carver, I mean, that's Carver. They're the best team in this area. So I put Spencer at number 6, okay?
The question is, they play Lovett, which is a very talented private school, one of the best private schools in the state of Georgia. Where do you put them? I still think you keep them in the rankings even if they lose that game, because I still think this is one of the top teams in this region, probably number 2 to Carver. You got to remember that the level between Carver and Spencer, Carver's just on another level than any other team we've ever seen in this area. Spencer's still good with Elijah Fudge. You got CJ Starr, who, by the way, had 47 tackles in that game against Carver. I mean, you have a team that's going to be there when it's all said and done and going to be a playoff team. And I believe in what Coach Kegler's doing with the Spencer Green Wave.
Number 5, the Northside Patriots. Bye week after dominating Shaw in week 1. They take on Northgate on the road this upcoming Friday. Northside in the top 5. How about Coach Oropeza and his Patriots moving into the top 5? Number 4, Harris County. Didn't want to drop them below Northside and punish them for taking on a team that's one of the best teams in the state in Troup County and losing.
Absolutely.
So they stay in our top 4. And then the top 3, Russell County, undefeated. Undefeated. Well, they won their first game against Carroll.
Yeah.
Brookstone, number 2, and then Carver, number 1, the best team. And remember, our rankings are off of how good of a chance you have to win a championship. I think Brookstone's got them and Carver have the best chances in this area to win a state championship. And then I would go Russell County, and then after that, it's kind of a free for all how we do our rankings. But Pacelli and Calvert up there too. They're going to be competitive in the GIAA. Harris County and Northside just playing a tough classification.
Yeah. And that's why we leapfrogged Brookstone over Russell County, because their pathway to the GIAA, they can win a championship. And quite frankly, the 2 top teams have been Carver and Brookstone. They have been the most dominant so far this season. Russell County's only played 1 game. That's why they're at number 3. But they dominated Carroll 42-13. And I think that if these 3 teams just continue playing like this, they're looking like they're going to be 1, 2, and 3 in our rankings throughout the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I think that is a great point. So there is our top 10 Georgia Alabama Sports Live Power Rankings. We'll drop the softball and volleyball on Wednesday night right after County Northside. All right.
Wow.
Coach territory, Coach Jenkins happening. It is going to be a fun night. Harris County and Northside. This upcoming Wednesday should be a lot of fun, Rich.
Yeah, by the way, Calvary Volleyball, incredible weekend. They are now 13-0. Yeah, they won their tournament, and they're looking pretty good. They play Pacelli on Tuesday. Our rankings are might get shaken up on Wednesday, but we're going to keep that fresh because we still got games leading up to that. So our rankings might change right before we get ready to go on the show on Wednesday.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and we'll come back and wrap it up here. It's late night edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Yes,
we'll be
sir.
right back after this.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith and Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We have a busy week this week. We'll be dropping the schedule tomorrow. We have Glenwood Calvary Smith Station Coaches Show and then Glenwood Brookstone volleyball game. Actually, the social media pages literally just got shared with us, so we'll actually be putting that out there in just a little bit. Tuesday, we got Pacelli Calvary volleyball, which, wow, number one versus number two in that ranking.
Sign me up for that.
Tri-City, we got a tri-match at Brookstone. Harris County Coaches Show, Brookstone Coach Show, and then Russell County and Beulah. Wednesday, we got Harris County at Northside Softball, so we got a really big volleyball game, Pacelli Calvary on Tuesday, an even bigger softball game at County Northside on Wednesday. We got Sideline Stories with Kim McKelly, Pacelli and Russell County Coach Show, and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thursday, Columbus at Glenwood Volleyball, Russell County at Smith's Volleyball, and Jag at Russell County Flag Football, first flag football game of the year. Richard, you'll be there with Austin Allen. And then Friday, 5 games. Carver County, Elba Glenwood, Valley Smith Station, Mount Vernon Brookstone, Mount DeSales at Calvary. 5 football games we're broadcasting. None on Thursday, but 5 on Friday. And then we end the week with Mount DeSales at Pacelli. We had fun last Saturday at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Literally yesterday. I said last Saturday, but yesterday doing a live show. It's always fun to be there and talk to all the people. So glad that we were able to do that, Richard. Got another busy week, and be sure to tune in. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be a part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We're going to be live every week. 5 football games we're doing again Friday night.
We are making history Friday. We have never live streamed 5 football games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So I can't wait. It's going to be exciting, and it takes a team effort to pull off 5 broadcasts, and it is going to be absolutely just electric just on Friday night. I can't wait for it to be here.
Thank y'all so much for watching. We hope you have a great rest of your Sunday night. We're going to be getting up bright and early tomorrow morning as we do every weekday here on Sports Visions 92.1 FM. We have Jarvis Jones on, Drew Pavon, that we have the beat writer for Georgia Tech, and then
Coach Mayo.
And then finally Coach Mayo of Kendrick. What a lineup. Tune
Outstanding
in with me and DJ
lineup.
Jones and Richard Holdridge, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sports Vision 92.1 FM.
And the Cleanstones, they beat Pensacola.
Oh, by the way, Cleanstone, 4 of 6 in their half game back. How about the Cleanstone?
Half a game back.
And they got a huge series against Pensacola and Montgomery coming up in the next couple of weeks, including their final home series, not this week, but the next week, the first week of September. And the final week of the season, you know who they play?
Who do they play?
You know, Richard.
I want to say they play
Rich,
Montgomery. They play
how do you
Montgomery
not
at
know
home.
This, man. You tell me you keep up with Cleanstones better than anyone. And right here on live television, you got us looking like the biggest goobers.
No. They played Montgomery their final home.
They ended against Pensacola,
They
as
ended
I
with-
thought. So they have
yeah.
Montgomery and Pensacola the last 2 weeks of the season. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.